All right, Shalom. Kahalayim La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Kodash, which is the Paleo Hebrew, the Lashon Kodash, the holy tongue for the one true name of the Heavenly Father, being Yahweh, and that of the Messiah, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, though the letter J wasn't derived until the 16th century, so that clearly could not have been his name. His one true name being Yahushai. All right, and again, that's Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. I'd like to give double honors unto the elders and the apostles at GMS Great Millstone, and a sincere peace, love, blessing, salutations to all those of you hopeful, faithful, potential members of the elect out there doing the best to make the calling of your election sure, man. Right? And contrary to popular belief, man, the name, right, among many things that, we've been told, are not a big deal or to not, worry about when it comes to the Bible, right, is very, very important, man. In fact, the book of Acts chapter 4 and verse 12 tells us that there's no other name given among men whereby you may be saved. All right? There's no other name, man. You can't call the Lord anything you want, right? You can't eat whatever you want. You can't do whatever you want. We've been given a guideline of laws to understand how to survive and sustain ourselves in this walk, in this life, man. And when you break those, the outcome is death. You see, but why is it that we've been lied to and told, right, to not worry about those things or to worry about other things, man? It's because what's encompassed the Bible is religion, man. You see? Religion. At the end of the day, we're the 12 tribes, man. That's not a religion. At the end of the day, the Bible's just been written. You see? So we take heed unto it, man. But a lot of these cats that these religions, they claim to take heed, but they don't, man. And we find that out real quick, right? Real quick when you start getting into the scriptures and finding out that all the things contrary to what they've learned and been taught or teaching are incorrect, man. That's nothing but a tradition, which we're going to go ahead and grab some precepts on. But I would like to grab this first, man. All right? Because really what's going on is these, in fact, I'm going to grab this afterwards. Let me grab Matthew chapter 15 first. This is Matthew chapter 15, and I'll just get straight to the point. Verse 8, it says, "These people draw nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men." So in vain they're worshiping the Most High, man. In vain. Because they teach the commandments and doctrines of men. You see, not the commandments of the Bible, not what's actually written, but they teach doctrines of men. What has become the Bible has become a doctrine, and not just any doctrine, but a doctrine of man. So really these churches, man, they're just nothing but groups. Non-spiritual groups. Even though they may pretend to be spiritual or feel like they're spiritual, at the end of the day, man, they're just groups. All right, you might as well go to the YMCA. You might as well go find a hobby of some sort. It's really just a hobby in a group, man. Right? So at the end of the day, you got to really take heed unto what it is that's written, man. All right, because as we go on, let's go ahead and jump to verse 13. It says, "But he answered and said, Every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into a ditch." So somebody has to fit in that category, man. Somebody has to be the blind, and somebody has to be being led by a blind man, right? According to what's written. That's why you got to take heed into what it is that you're reading, and what it is that you're being told, to the traditions and things that you're doing, man. Does it match what you're reading? Does it match what's written? This is the book of Acts chapter 19. And let's see, verse. I'll just go to verse 24. It says, "For a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrines for Diana, brought no small gain unto the craftsmen, whom he called together with the workmen of like occupation, and said, Sirs, ye know that by this craft we have our wealth. Right, so he's saying what? That by us having our craft, which is what? To create idols, to create these little images that are, supposed to resemble God's deities and what have you. Hey, he's saying this is how we make our money, man. This is how we get paid. Right? Because really, as you're beginning to see people, people are beginning to read the Bible, man. And this is really something that's done through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, with stirring up the loins of the elect, man, to cause them to go out on the highways and the byways and push this truth, right? Which the elect are out there. You see, the elect are among us, man. Lord willing, we be part of them. You see. But it's causing what, man? Ripple effects throughout this world. It's causing people to wake up. It's causing social media to encompass certain aspects of the truth, right? All of a sudden, you got men growing beards. You got people getting into the stones. You see, little do people know they're returning to the ancient ways, man, when they're doing these things. Back when I was a kid, I don't remember seeing many adults at all with beards. People wearing fringes. Most people know who the Israelites are. People leaving the churches, man. You go to these churches and they're losing numbers. That's why they had to get somebody like Vocab Malone, which Vocab Malone, right? Christianity is a giant religion, man. A giant group, as I mentioned earlier. A giant doctrine of mankind, where they have money and they're well established, man. So established that they've been able to deceive us. You see? But the point I'm getting at is that they have different sects of Christianity, and one of those chapters, if you will, sect, whatever you want to call it, is the apologetics, man. And that's what Vocab Malone and his little group are, man. And what they do is, they're debaters. So you have different groups, right? And you have one particular group that's set up to debate. Now you got to understand, debating is it's what's the word I'm looking for, man? Debating is a skill, if you will. All right, debating is something that you could be arguing the wrong point and still win over the crowd to win the debate. You see, so these guys are very good at trying to win over the crowd, which their crowd that they're trying to win is Christianity. So they do everything to demonize us and the truth, man. Oh, what they said this? Oh, what you do that? Well, let's just deal with what's written, man. Right. So anyway, the point is that. That further proves that the churches are being emptied, man. By them having to send out particular cats like Vocab Malone and what have you to try to demonize the truth. Which, when they do find these, some camps that are not well-versed, right, they're able to catch you slipping, man. And really, they're just trying to trip you up in your words anyway, because, again, they're debaters, man. That's why the apostles say not even to communicate with them. We had them come out here in Arizona a couple times, man. And, they really play a really sneaky, weird game. You get one guy just come up and he's talking to you, and next thing you know, another guy roll out with a camera, and the next thing you know, another person with a damn news-sized camera coming out of another bush, and then they just corner you. It's like it's premeditated, man. But anyway, hey, it's easy to see who has the truth and who doesn't, man. When the Spirit's dealing with you. All right, you can do nothing against the truth but for it at the end of the day, right? So they're going to get those who need to stay within religion and not within the truth, right? Because again, this thing is about the elect, man. All right, but let me go ahead and continue. Acts chapter 19 and verse 26, it says, Moreover, ye see and hear that not alone at Ephesus, but almost throughout all Asia, this Paul hath persuaded and turned away much people, saying that they be no gods which are made with hands. So, he's trying to stir people up. Hey, we're losing currency. We're losing wealth, man. And that's really what's happening with these churches. They ain't upset because because of people finding a different religion. They're upset because they're losing money, which is funny because they tell you the laws are done away with. As I opened up the lesson, right, we've been given the laws to know the do's and don'ts of the Most High's mind, right, as it is written, his ways are higher than our ways. You see, so the only way to understand the Most High's mind and the do's and don'ts, if you will, is to understand what he's written, man. And they tell you that those laws that he wrote are done away with, but yet they tell you to give them tithes, which are one of those laws. So if the laws are done away with, then they shouldn't be getting any money, man. I remember going into a particular church and they put up a pie chart. I believe they said a third of all your income is supposed to go to the church. You see, so it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy because it's easy to see, right? So just as, these people in ancient time were losing money, right? Just as you see them losing money today because the truth is out, man. It says, verse 27, so that not only our craft is in danger to be set at naught, but also that of the temple of the great goddess Diana should be despised, and her magnificence should be destroyed from all Asia, and the world worshipeth. So, they were afraid of losing their money and losing their their lives, man. Verse 28 says, and when they heard these sayings, they were full of wrath and cried out, saying, great is Diana of the Ephesians. And the whole city was filled with confusion. And having caught Gaius and Aristarchus, men of Macedonia, Paul's companions in travel, they rushed with one accord into the theater. And when Paul would have entered in unto the people, the disciples suffered him not. And certain of the chief of Asia, which were his friends, sent unto him, desiring him that he would not adventure himself into the theater. So basically they were getting in there trying to kill him, man. they wanted to kill him. You see, which is really what these damn churches would like to do to us, man. But at this point, the truth has been spread too far. They can't cover it up, man. All right, I mean, Esau Ben tried to cover it up and to show you the power and the authenticity of the power of the Most High. Right? It's shown in the very fact that we've been woken up to the truth, man. Even though he's tried to cover it up and to lie about it, to deceive us, right? As it is written, he opened up the book of the law to put the likeness of his images in there, man. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and he covered the faces of the judges thereof. So he covers the true judges, man. He's an imposter. He's taking our place. You see, but let me go ahead and jump to grab one more precept. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12, and verse 4. It reads, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. And that's what's taking place, man. Knowledge is being increased. Right? We now have AI technology, right? Which, if anything, co-signs to the truth, man. Right? Hey, we've done many lessons, right, using AI to prove the points that we've been making, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? We believed it in faith anyway, man. Right? So knowledge is pouring out on vast levels, man. People are waking up to who they are. Israelites, the true Israelites, are not a unknown thing anymore, and therefore these churches are losing members, and they're going to continue to, man. So with that being said, Lord willing, the Zedifying man, call Layim how Bashim Yahushua Bashim Kakwadash, double honors unto the elders and the apostles at GMS Grand Millstone, and a sincere peace, love, blessings, salutations unto all those of you hopeful, faithful, potential members of the elect out there doing the best to make the calling of your election sure. Shalom wa abad ball.